Be desperate if I'm starting. Um, just an overview, Vincent, on how things have gone since Villa coming into this game. I think there were some talking points in that game, to put it euphemistically.
Yeah.
How quickly do you have to park those things and move ahead to this FA Cup tie?
No, I think I said it the day of the game. I'll probably carry it through the night, but then the next day, it's all about us. The things we have to improve, the things we did well, and the next game obviously with Tottenham coming up.
Are you still broadly encouraged by the sort of trajectory of the performances?
Yeah, I function in a very simple way. Bad day motivates me more. Good day motivates me more. So, I'm just ready for the next game. And I think for the team, I see the work that they do, and they're spot on. Don't have the results for it though, and that's the focus. Just making sure we cross that line.
You go a long time now without a Premier League game. I think you had games every 3 or 4 days in December, and there's 2 Premier League games in January.
Yeah.
What do you make of that scheduling? I know there's been a bit of talk about winter breaks or mini winter breaks or whatever they're called in the Premier League. Does it feel a bit strange to have so many games and then so few?
I don't know. I'm not one for complaining about that kind of stuff too much. I just get on with it. They arrange the fixtures and we play, and as long as it's fair and everyone's going through the same, then I have no complaints about it. Does
it alter the way you prepare? I guess you have a lot more time on the training ground and here compared to last month.
Yeah. Although I'd say probably you start the season with wanting more training sessions than games, and that's because of the cohesion stuff, especially if you have a group of players that haven't played together. And then as the season goes, I think now I'm at a point where I prefer more games than too many training sessions. That's where ultimately you see them make the most progress now, is when they play games. They go to Villa, they go to every game we've played recently. That's when you see the group improving. So that's what I prefer at the moment.
I know you've spoken in the past about bringing new players in and it taking a certain number of sessions or a certain amount of sort of contact time with the players.
Yeah.
If you now would prefer games to training ground time, have you reached that point where they've got enough sessions into them?
I think now it's experience. It's building up the just building up the finer details of this league. Being aware of key moments and all these things you can discuss in a video. You can show them footage. You can practice in training, but the best way to learn is getting hurt by it first, and then feeling the reward when you wisen up to it. And we've done so many things really well, but unless you have the points, you're always left wanting for there's always a void, and that's our priority.
As far as the FA Cup is concerned, can that be a continuation of this trajectory that you're on and this improvement that we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean it's exactly how I look at it. I don't make a big distinction between the fact that it's an FA Cup game or a Premier League game. We have the opportunity to play against one of the best teams in England, in the best league in the world, so that means a lot. And treating that game in as being an important game for us to continue, measuring ourselves to these teams, that's something for me that is important.
Yeah, you could look at it, I suppose, and say the draw's not been kind and we've got to go to Tottenham and it's going to be a very difficult game. Do you see it as another useful exercise to measure yourself against the top teams in the Premier League?
Brutally honest, it's the best possible draw. Because you could have these kind of draws in the quarterfinals, and you've done X amount of games in, and you've played against League 2 clubs, League 1 clubs, and all of a sudden you get to the semi-finals, and it's better to have the outcome of these type of games early for us. Game 1, if you win the game, you can hope for a positive cup run and you carry on. If you don't win the game, then then you move on back to the league. But I'm embracing the challenge anyway. But I'm not saying it's a bad draw. It's a the right draw at the right time.
Is there more benefit, therefore, to this game against Tottenham, measuring yourself against those players, than maybe winning 2, 3, 4 cup ties against lower division opponents?
I think for where we are now, this is better, and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying, obviously my goal is with the team. I think last year we did a few rounds in both competitions, and it was a nice experience. But these moments, that they're the moments you want in a cup game, eventually, whether they come in the first round or in the latter stages. So it's only when you go through these rounds that you know whether you're going to have a cup run. And for us to have it early, it's better, because if we manage to go through the round, then after that I'd be very disappointed if any other team kicks us out.
As far as Tottenham are concerned, I think Ange Postecoglou is getting a lot of plaudits for not just the way his team plays, but the way he is in situations like this, and the fact that he seems like quite a normal fella, to be honest. I remember hearing Pep Guardiola say that he became aware of him when he was coaching in Japan for one of the teams in the City group. How long have you been kind of aware of the work he's been doing?
Yeah, I've been for a while, actually, for a long time, before he even got to Japan, and I via another person I got in touch, making sure, just finding out a little bit about what his ideas were about when he was in Japan. So I'm not surprised. He's also done probably the hardest way to do it. He's come from Australia. He's had to get out of Australia, gone into Japan, Scotland, and then getting into the Premier League eventually. But his character and his personality kind of gives you he can show you in many moments as to why he's been successful without having to be talking about football. You can just see it when you see the person. We
hear about character a lot, don't we? How important is it to have that right personality and be able to deal with those setbacks?
Yeah, I mean it's a tough gig in the sense that you have to have the right personality, character. You have to have leadership. You have to be tactically, technically aware, and everybody has his strengths and weaknesses, of course. So it's hard to be all those things at once, and it seems to be what everyone demands, though, and that's there's very few people who are like this, and yeah, that's there are traits there that you've named that are could be in a person without having the other traits, and it's to have the combination is important.
And I spent a bit of time with Charlie Adam yesterday, who was talking about you and the influence that you've had on him going into his first head coach's role. Your calmness was something that he singled out. Is it difficult?
So you've got inside info that's not made up then.
Is it difficult to keep a level head? I know you say it to us all the time, but is it difficult to kind of practice what you preach, kind of thing?
I think for some people it is, yeah. But I don't know. I try to explain to you when I'm in a press conference as well, just simply who I am. I've always been like this, and I have a switch like everybody, like every human being as well. But that switch comes a little bit later maybe than others, and it really depends. Like I focus very. I tell you what. I focus a lot on the things that are said at the very beginning, because there's a lot of thinking going into what we want to say. So if we have a vision for either the club or for the team or for, or whether I'm a player, whether I'm a manager, I focus a lot on what is said at the beginning and how we're going to achieve it. And once you believe in that, then I'm very much driven into following the path. And of course, adapting where you need to adapt, because you have to continuously improve. What I don't do is I don't lose my head after for every bad pass or every bad touch. Sometimes for the refereeing at times, but I'm not superhuman. That's what I said. But I can follow the path, and consistency is the biggest thing I believe in and consistency and effort. Then everything else is just, it's a personal touch. But consistency and effort, I really believe in now. So to be consistent, you have to have some level of calm, some degree of calmness as well.
And I know Charlie said that you'd spoken a little bit and he'd been picking your brains, and you'd kind of be one of those people that he would be checking in with throughout his managerial career. Does it feel a little bit weird to be, at a relatively young age, kind of providing that sounding board for young managers?
Yes, it does. That's the simple answer, yes.
Thank you, Matt.
Hi, Vinny. I know you highlighted after the Villa game how you had a special moment with the fans at full time.
Yeah.
How important is it to have that unity, given it's been a difficult season so far?
Yeah, and and we're mixing it because about 4 days ago I was speaking about how wonderful a year it was. So difficult season, wonderful year. I think it's a bit of both, and we've gone through it together. And I think everything we do is to try and give them moments. That's all, I think it's a succession of memories that creates a bond, and we've had good memories. And everything we do every single day in training is to try and give them as many moments as we can in the future. Yeah.
Jordan Bayer came off during that game. How's he getting on since then?
Yeah, he won't feature in the next game, but hopefully he'll be back for the Luton game.
Obviously, the transfer window's open now. Has there been much movement since it's been open the last few days?
You see, by just saying Jordan Bayer won't feature in the next game, I've saved my colleague from Tottenham just a few extra minutes of work trying to find out whether he's going to play or not. Sorry,
the transfer window is now open. Has there been much movement in terms of potential incomings the last few days?
We've definitely... I definitely sat down with the recruitment team and the chairman, and we're definitely looking at every possible option. But I can't say much more than that. There's nothing obvious at the moment that stands out that could, drastically change our season. But if there is, we're obviously we're doing our homework, we're doing our research for sure.
There's obviously been talk about Manuel Benson and Azuri leaving. What's their situation at the moment?
Yeah, I think, look, it's fair to say that both players haven't featured too much this season, but as to the discussions we're having with them, we're pretty clear. We definitely believe in the players, and I think the situation of Anas is not the situation of Benny, so we're having those conversations individually.
And finally, just seen that Owen Dodson and Dar Costello being recalled. Obviously, Costello's gone out again. What's the plan with that? Owen Dodson, Dar Costello being recalled, but Costello's gone out again. What's the plan now with Owen Dodson?
Yeah, Owen will go back on loan and play. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last one at the back for PA Media for Ellie. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Hi, Vinny. It's been a busy time. So in terms of your selection for this weekend, do you see it as an opportunity maybe to give some other people a chance, or do you want to stick with broadly the team that you've been playing?
No, I think we, like I said, we look at this game against Tottenham as another Premier League game. So even if there is a change or two, I don't think there's anything crazy to expect. I mean, the goal for us is to continue trying to play against these teams and maybe get results against these teams, and I don't think we can afford to do anything too crazy, but maybe one or two, but nothing major.
Tottenham are obviously missing Son now. There's a few kind of big Premier League players who've going to AFCON or Asian Cup. Do you think that those competitions could potentially have a decent impact on what happens in the Premier League over the next month or so?
I don't know. That's the honest answer. It's my first year in the Premier League as a manager and experiencing this. I don't know. I'd like AFCON to have a window of itself, though. I would do. I think you look at the quality of the teams and the players. I mean, I was recently going through the Senegal team for some reason, and you watch the quality of those teams over there. It should be a highlight as well, just like the Euros are. And now it kind of falls into the season where you've got a little bit of a mixed feeling because you lose your best players, but at the same time, you know, it's an awesome competition, so you want to watch it as well. So yeah, hopefully he'll get the window it deserves.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's move into the Empire.